Hey, good afternoon, everybody. This is Chuck Sumner again with Agile Property Solutions, and today I wanted to do another story about a deal I did a couple years back. And in this deal, uh, this took place in Richland, Washington, and the gist of the whole deal was that these folks again were in foreclosure, or pre-foreclosure is what it's called, because their property hadn't been auctioned off yet. So they were in the early stages of foreclosure. Probably had maybe 2, 3 months before the auction date. I came in, I made them an offer on their property, and they accepted. However, they had one caveat. They wanted to get out of town. They were looking to move to Las Vegas. So they did not have internet. The only, means of looking at properties was on their phones, which is, as you can imagine, pretty difficult to find a place to live if all you have is a tiny little screen. So what I did as part of the sale was um, we basically we would get together daily, and we did this for probably 3 weeks, like no joke. 3 weeks. I would go home, I would find a bunch of different properties based on their criteria. These were like, various apartments, houses, whatnot. Put this list together, and I'd go sit down with them, and we'd go through them one by one and figure out which ones they liked. And then I would call the landlords and talk with them and see what kind of requirements these people were gonna, or what kind of requirements they had for a tenant. So the issue was, of course, is that most landlords are looking for a tenant with good credit, solid payment history, and a large deposit, right? Well, of course, these people being in pre-foreclosure, they didn't have good credit, that's for sure. They don't have good payment history. So, that's why this took so long to find. Plus, it had to kind of meet their criteria. They didn't want to live in a total, dumpster. So that's why it took so long. But that's what I did. Day after day, I met up with them, and we slowly got it, whittled down to a few. And right before we closed, we found a place for them, and they were good to go. Now, the other kicker that they threw me, and this is another reason why you want to work with somebody like me, is that they didn't have a bank account. So when they went to close, the title company handed them a check for like $25,000, because that's what they ended up with after all their proceeds from the sale. But they don't have a bank account, and they're literally getting ready to leave town. So they have no money, they have no bank account, and they have this check that might as well be worthless because they can't cash it. Nobody's going to cash a $25,000 check. So what I had to do was go with them and we called around every single bank in our area, the Tri-Cities, Washington area, and found a bank that had that kind of cash in their vault at the moment and would actually give it to us, because a lot of banks don't even carry that kind of cash. Let alone will they let you have it, because that would mean that they're out of money and they can't just get money quickly. It's got to be delivered by armored truck. So we found a bank finally at the final hour. It was like almost 4:30 in the afternoon. They were able to give us the money. They got their cash. They had their U-Haul hooked up, and basically they were hitting the road. And so it was a pretty stressful deal, but we got it done. I helped them out because I got them some cash. I prevented them from going through the foreclosure process, and I helped them find a place to live in Vegas, which is where they wanted to end up. So it was a lot of wins for them. It was a win for me. I got a great property at a decent price. So anyways, just another deal, another example of how I can do things that are a little bit outside of what your typical realtor or other people that are buying houses do. We provide a lot of help to our sellers. So until next time, I will see you on the next video. All right, take care.